There we go. Good morning, everybody. It is
Morning.
9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time here on the East Coast, and I'm still drinking my coffee and kind of waking up. So everybody give a big thanks to Broseph Smith in the comments because what time you got there?
It's 7 a.m. right now.
Yeah, can you imagine getting up, getting on YouTube for 7 a.m.? I mean, pretty tough life, drinking coffee, getting on YouTube, petting your cat.
Yeah, horrible. Could you imagine?
I'm still
How
doing.
strenuous.
Yeah, I had the morning off. I didn't cover. They were able to break up my morning route for medical courier stuff in between other contracts for the guy that I'm covering. But I am on call. The earliest they usually call me out the door is 10 a.m. and the latest will be 4 p.m. So Broseph was nice enough to get up early to do the stream so that I could still be available to be, out the door if need be to do the medical courier stuff. So
Maximize profit. Yeah, no
yeah,
problem.
appreciate that. It's interesting because last night at like 3:34 in the morning, I kind of woke up and I heard some commotion. And I live in a very quiet suburban neighborhood in somewhat rural New Hampshire. It's it's more suburban than rural, but if anybody moved here, it's a village of 1,200 people.
Yeah.
That's like 30 minutes from a city that's only like 40,000 people. So I don't even know if it's a city. But anyways, they would think it's what. And I heard commotion, and in the hallways and stuff. There's a complex here inside the. Anyways, I wake up. There's 2 fire trucks outside, 2 ambulances, and then multiple other fire trucks, but I don't know what you call them. What do you call like a personal truck that says fire on the side? I was trying to figure this out this morning. You know what I mean? Like the chief drives around in, because I'm like, we have a name for the fire trucks.
Yeah.
So, but it's a truck for the fire department that says fire on the side.
Yeah.
But it's
technically,
only
yeah, that is etymologically correct, but not yeah, exactly. Yeah, if you introduced a foreigner to the word fire truck, then they would not think that is a fire truck.
Yeah, I was like,
like the
I couldn't even figure it out. I was like, how do I even explain this to people? There's 4 fire trucks outside, but then their head's immediately going to go to like I guess they're ladder trucks, and then non-ladder trucks. Anyways,
yeah.
Anyways, when I woke up, I couldn't get back to sleep, so I hopped on TikTok to fix my algorithm because we've been working on growing our TikTok in our TikTok live and stuff. And this guy was going live, and he showed how he's got multiple accounts, 3 or 4 accounts that he uses AI scripts, ChatGPT, and software to create scripts, and then AI videos on his topics. And he's got multiple accounts that are up to tens of thousands of followers in a short period of time that make him between $500 to $1,000 a month each.
Holy cow.
So I was like, oh, maybe I was supposed to be woken up out of asleep to find this, because we set the topic last night. I set it based on trends.
Yeah.
Then I woke up and I found that. And I did some research this morning about how we could do that. And I thought that we could show. I mean, what's crazy is I even used LLM ChatGPT to help me research some of the things and do a point system on how we could maybe start using AI with our TikTok stuff.
Okay. Using the same scaffolding of the Instagram, or sorry, Instacart. Sorry, still waking up. Instacart. Outline the model. Yeah, there.
Good morning. Good morning, Drew. I see you in the chat. It must be 5 a.m. there on the West Coast. Yeah, no, it's 9 minus 3, 6 a.m.
Yeah.
Good morning, Drew.
Shout out, Drew.
Yeah. Well, actually, I can show this stuff. Drew with the woo. And if I was a little bit more awake, I probably wouldn't sound like an NPR
yeah
host right now, and I would cheer. Yeah. But anyways, so before we get started with that, I wanted to go into a little bit about your week if you want.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
Because kind of the purpose of the show, people have kind of been asking, as some of you know, and most of you that are here live, is I'm on Cornfed with Dalton Pruitt each and every Saturday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Shout
We
out.
do a 4.5 hour, 5 hour stream with comedians, online personalities, friends, and just talk about whatever comes up.
Ooh, yeah.
Anyway, some of the people there have been like kind of shooting it down, being negative, and we already a lot of people already have a lot of negative self-talk. And they go through that when they're trying to leave or get away from a W-2 or just give themselves a little bit more freedom. And you made the leap. You've quit your job. You're going to try to be an independent contractor, but you've been having some difficulty yourself. Is that something that you wanted to share with everybody?
Yeah. I mean, because, like, you see all these influencers on, people who have made the money, not even influencers, just the business guys on YouTube, on Instagram, they've already made the money. They're like, so check it out. I did this. You can do it. Just follow the fucking trends, or excuse me, but follow the, follow exactly what I say. That just do it, and you'll have a lot of money. And then you're like, okay, cool. What about everything in between, like being a human? Like wrapping my mind around these things, going through the process, struggling and failing. It is funny because they do mention that they're like, you're going to struggle and fail. You'll go through it, but then they of course don't focus on that because the point of their video and they grabs people, the attention grabbing part is I made all this money. So with that said, along the the reality is like along the way, as I'm like, okay, trying to go across. Okay, for example, this week as I was going through the TikTok stuff, I was like, okay, let me follow the plan, like trust the plan. That's it, just, trust the plan, stick with it, just, you'll succeed if you just, and then, so, I was trying to do that and then just kind of getting a little discouraged by like, because I was like, the one thing I was thinking was, all right, I'm going to be more open to the people in my inbox and not just ignore people like I do sometimes. And like not so much X, but sometimes X, but not less so than other platforms. But
strangers, though, you mean like people that you don't really know that are reaching out.
Exactly.
Either in the spectrum can be from scamming you to selling you something to actually want to be your friend, and then everything in between.
Yes, I have met about, I think, 2 genuine want to be your friends.
On TikTok.
On TikTok. Everyone else, and maybe it is just the mass adding, scammy type behavior, of just like little to no communication and just constant likes and then liking the likes. I guess I could categorize that as genuine. So maybe there's a slightly higher percentage, but I don't know, probably a solid 50 to 60% at least, of TikTok inbox interactions, are just scammy. And then, and not even scam. These aren't even the scams I fell for, the scams I fell for.
So I will say we both tackled this. We both got online and we said, okay, we know that if we grow our TikTok accounts to 1,000, we can start going live and get a part of the affiliate program, which allows you to sell items for a commission. Then at 5,000, you can go live infinitely, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, and also gain commission. With 1,000, you can only do it like 4 hours a week. So the 1,000 is what everybody's shooting for. So we got online with that goal. And we kind of tackled it from a couple different directions. And one of the ways that Broseph had found was basically, for lack of a better word, it's very feminized. Not that you're feminized, but there's these rooms with these women that run these lives. And they're just being friendly. And everybody that comes isn't being friendly. and they're just being nice to one another and following one another. So a lot of times you're not technically getting people that are in your niche that are trying to do the same thing you're just getting bots or whatever. And the whole goal of that is we're just all going to follow each other up to 5,000 to help one another, to be kind or to be nice. And I tried to do this, and I mean, bless Brosef's heart. I was getting psychosis trying to be in these rooms because it was so like crabs crawling up in a bucket, trying to be fake nice to everybody to do it. So now you've gone into these rooms for like a week or two under this idea that you're all following each other to follow each other back. And there's this like social element of like, I can't be normal because if I do, this person might not follow me. Right.
Exactly. And also with my person, there's the engagement, kind of farming part of it that I guess I was kind of under the assumption that at least those rooms where people actually have to interact and stuff, that a higher percentage of them, would be, real people. And they did, I'm not even like, I wish people reach out to me as friends. No, I'm not, I just wish that they, the friends and followers I was getting in the, in those rooms were real people and not scammers,
so
because
they're not
that also dings your TikTok algorithm. If you have people that are verified as scammers as followers, which is also something I did, I removed probably like 20 to 30 like confirmed banned accounts on, that were following me. So I was, just so that I could try to stay in the good graces a little bit more. But to your point on, the like, mild psychosis incurred by that, you do incur psychic damage, like scrolling TikTok and staying in there, and then, at a certain point, I'm like, okay, what am I even doing? I haven't done any of, any more videos of any kind, whether they be, funny shit, that it's funny stuff that I do want to do. Or like just I was doing some just pictures and videos of the cat, or the coin videos, which were because it's a hobby I've had, but like getting more into, especially in unemployment, that I kind of just stumbled upon. By the way, also coins were in the content gap thing, so that I was see to I guess wrap it all up, I was feeling, mildly confident with at least the coin stuff. They're like, all right, add some funny stuff, add the cat in. People love cats for my general content. And then, but then after a sec, that I saw some of the other guys with way more coins, much bigger collections. And, the more successful coin lives are the ones that are, they're auctioning, they're selling stuff. Because they have such a high inventory, they're just selling their things.
Well, so comparison is the thief of joy. So you got to be careful that you're comparing yourselves to older accounts new. But after we talked, and because we had the mindset that the goal was the 5,000 followers because of the TikTok stuff, and then we talked a little bit, and you were able to persevere a little bit more than me. I think, are you up to over 700 followers now?
I am over 700. And by the way, so I did get, I got sent a link that I thought was, I think it's talked about last time, for like, it was like a TikTok seller, like, training. And I was like, oh, cool. TikTok does these things. Awesome. They asked for my business ID, and then so that's the information that they scammed me out of, which apparently isn't, immediately too much of a risk, but it is legit. The notification that I got was legit, that said you can go live now. So I can do that. I do not, but and that's also kind of been in the past, because it's been a couple days since I got the notification.
So we got.
That's kind of been my like, all right, what the fuck am I going to do on a live? What am I going to do other than similar engagement?
The psychosis stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
So I have so we have the TikTok up here. You got up to 777 followers, which is pretty good in the short amount of time that we've been here compared to like other social media.
That's also
I've
number.
Been extremely busy. I'm doing double contracts for one of these businesses that I'm working with. And like recently on Monday, I did a 12 or 14 hour drive to Brooklyn, New York to pick up merchandise and back. So I haven't been on TikTok as much, but I think we both kind of decided that the goal would be, and so we want to start adding value to our TikTok pages and have the byproduct of that be the followers instead of getting the followers and then having the byproduct of then having to make content for the followers.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a dance because you're at 777, you can go live and you can join the affiliate program in under 300 followers now. So it's almost advantageous to just grind out those last 300, get up to the 1,000, start the lives with the affiliate program 4 hours a week, and now build the content. I've been searching out, and I found a really good guy this morning. I messaged it to you, somebody that I like to follow. Let me see here. Oh, I sent it to you this morning. It won't show up here because he was live at the time. But I got a screenshot of it. But this guy was really good
on LinkedIn and the importance of that. But
sorry, no worries. This guy was really cool. He was an older guy. He was like 53. He was a farmer, and he paid off like $100,000 in debt using TikTok with this strategy. And again,
that's genuinely what I need for my medical debt.
Yeah. So what he does is he makes content that you can put on his page, but the juicy stuff, like how he explained the breakdown yesterday, they were like, oh, where's this? Where's that? Where's that? And he's like, I only put this up live. So if you miss the lives, you don't get this data. So follow me. So his appeal is when I go live, I give you all this stuff. But his name is Lazy S Ranch. So LAZY capital S Ranch. He's an old farm guy, and he uses ChatGPT and Hypernatural to create scripts. And then you take the scripts and you feed it into Hypernatural, and you can even clone your voice, and it'll use your voice over photos with the scripts that you did and create AI videos.
Oh, shit.
And then you upload them, and he does 3 a day on each of his accounts, which are niched. And then he makes a lot of his money just from the views, because the videos will get like 200K views or so. And he was showing like a 200K video was getting him like 1,000 new followers, and a 640K video got him like 2,500 new followers.
Jeez.
So he was basically breaking it down that views equal followers. So you can go and follow people that get followed back, or you can create content that people want to watch with information in these niches. And if you get eyes on them, then TikTok will put them to the For You page, which will then in turn get you the followers very quickly. And he said his newest account, because he's been doing this for 2 years now, he kind of figured it out. His newest account, he got up to 50,000 followers in 9 days. So, he's kind of got this figured out. Anyway, so
yeah.
Then I woke up this morning, and how do I get this back here? Hold on a second. So then I woke up this morning, and I kind of ran with that idea. So the AI that he uses is called Hypernatural AI, and he's got a link to it. It's a paid subscription. But I went through and I kind of did 100-point series here. Where is it? Where I had AI create me
I just saw the 100-point, right?
Okay, here it is.
Oh, right there. Yeah.
Was going to create me a 100-point checklist. So we got voice cloning and quality. So I wanted something that we could clone our voice, so it's actually our voices. So you read like some scripts, AI learns that, and will make the videos with your voice. Avatar realism, something that you can actually upload photos yourself and create either a cartoonish or realistic avatar of yourself. So you would basically be creating scripts and then using AI to put it up there. And the reason being is it's quicker and easier because you can do it all times of night without getting ready, getting the camera and all this stuff.
Yeah.
I still want to make actual content like this in front of a camera.
Yeah.
But to make 3 a day and have these get help with the script, have the AI do it, and then create this to build the following. But also, I was thinking if I would upload like a video of me holding a white mug like this, give it to the AI, then show the AI the mug that I'm selling, I can then make the script with me holding the mug and then test the print on demand stuff on the mug for the videos. And then the ones that sell and work actually order a physical mug, get it, bring it back, and then make my advertisements for those ideas that go along with the show. Next was because we're focusing on TikTok, I want it to be optimized via TikTok, and then have YouTube Shorts and Instagram Reels secondary. But and then the goal being the one that would help us the most with TikTok Shop monetization, and then brand building and blah blah blah. So this was a list to go through, and it actually said, okay, here's it picked a couple of different ones because it went online. I had to go online first and find competitors. So the ones that it came up was Hypernatural, HeyGen, and Synthesis. And these are the 3 strongest ones that it decided that it was going to rank. And using the 100-point checks system, here's the objective scoring. And I feel like I'm talking a lot. So do you have any, what do you think about this so far?
Yeah, no, that's, excuse me. Yeah. I guess my only like about this is you seem far more capable to, which is ironic because I'm the young kid. I'm only 32.
Yeah.
No, but you seem far more AI literate than I do because probably also because I don't pay for any of the AIs and any of those AI systems, and I feel like once you pay you can get a little bit more out of it. But
hey, thanks for stopping by, Kevin. We appreciate it.
Shout out, Kev.
He likes your coin videos.
Thank you, Kevin.
Sorry.
Hell yeah. Appreciate you.
So I've been using AI pretty much since it came out, but I've also I got off Microsoft Word like 3 decades ago. It's called Libra Office now, but it was like Open Office at one point, and I forget what it was before then. So there's always these open source things that are happening. I'm actually slowly switching over to Claude, but I have a lot of projects that I've built within my ecosystem here. So it's been kind of difficult to make the full switch. But if you just work with it, especially with like ChatGPT, some people give themselves psychosis because they treat it like a buddy, right? But I do I will turn it on and go back and forth and give it and teach it prompts and then check out what it spits out to me and say, no, you're doing this wrong, and then learn how to talk to it. So we kind of program each other back and forth, which is where you got to be careful because it's just garbage in, garbage out.
Yeah.
You got to learn what kind of garbage to give it so that it goes on and searches it and pulls it out. And it basically, I think of it like a Google. So in the past, you search Google.
Yeah.
Right. And then Google gives you the top things that it wants to push to you. And a lot of them are sponsored and not organic, right? They know something behind the scenes when they optimize. What you can do with ChatGPT is say, hey, go and look at a ton of stuff, and it's probably only going to look like the first like 5 pages of Google, 6 pages, but you're still getting a bigger data thing.
Yeah.
Or you can ask it, go to Bing or whatever you like.
Yeah.
It'll go there and then tell it, this is the information I need. And then if it can't find it in those, it's got to keep going further, and it takes a little bit. But now you're kind of like, you're just using this search engine to search the other search engine.
Yeah. And like
parse the data for you together.
I guess that's not so much the hard. It's more so the, you know, let me rephrase that. I guess maybe a lot of my creativity has died because, you know, like I still use it for, you know, where you're just like, for example, I was cooking basmati rice with some coconut milk last night, and then I was like, I feel like it should cook longer, so I literally just Googled basmati rice and then the proportion of coconut milk to water I was using, and then it gave me a detailed instruction of how to cook it. You know, each time it said, yes, that's a great ratio. This is how long you cook it for. I'm like, beautiful. I didn't even have to put cooking time in there. At the same time, you know, when it comes to, you know, this stuff like, all right, you know, help me optimize for, I'm like, okay. That's where I'm like, I don't even know for a lot of these things. It's like, I don't even know where to start. And even when reading things specifically, when people tell me, oh, this is where you start, then I'm still like, all right, the starting line's right here, but I still don't quite know how to run, I guess you could say, metaphorically speaking.
Yeah. So, I mean, for me, you know, I don't, you know, shameless plug for the Wright property. I mean, we have Wright Ideas here. Sorry, Dave Wright the Thinker. When I was doing the philosophy show and I was kind of getting into it, and some of the older videos don't have the good audio, and I got to get back to it. One of the reasons I started it was because people, you know, when people are like, okay, my goal is to make money and I want to make $100,000, right? And then you go online and you see this guy that made $100,000 and he gives you a blueprint, and you're like, okay, if I just follow this blueprint, I'll make 100,000.
Yeah.
Right. But what's always missing from that is you are not only is you on that journey to the 100,000, but you are the journey. It's not the steps and the money and the system that you're using. It's you have to change to become the type of person that takes the steps to make the $100,000, understand the money. So you're on this journey of change, growth, and understanding. And some of it is, I can't get out of bed, so I'm not doing this, or I'm scared of this, or I don't know how to use AI. And it's, you know, people are like, oh, I'm building a business to make 100K. And it's like, no, you're building yourself to become the type of person that makes 100K.
Yes.
And if you're interested in philosophy and you want to check out my channel, Dave Wright the Thinker, I can go into some of this stuff with you guys. But we grow up in a society where the schools like teach us to like, here's this, spit it back out. If you can spit out what I'm telling you to, then we'll put you in this place and then we'll give you this money. And then once you get out of a W-2 and you're like, okay, I'm in the real world now. And people are like, well, I don't want to use like, not that they don't, you didn't say this. I'm not putting words in my mouth.
No. I'm not.
When you use AI, you're like, it's taking away my creativity. It's like, it can feel like that, but it also can be a tool to creativity. So for me, I'll be, you know, cooking dinner and I'm like, man, I got this great idea for this. And they're like, hey, turn on ChatGPT. Hey, ChatGPT, is anybody doing X, Y, and Z online? And then it'll go and it's like, there's a small blah, blah, blah. And they're doing it just like this, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, oh, actually, I'm not finding that. I'm like, can you check again? Can you check Instagram? Can you check YouTube? Can you check this? Is anybody doing this? And they're like, no. And I was like, do you think it would be a good idea to do this, this, and this, to do this? And can you look it up? And like, yeah. And I was like, okay, if you were to do that, here are some things that I would want to do. And I named like 4 or 5 things. Can you name 4 or 5 other things that were similar to that we should do? And so then if you don't know, go online and see what others are saying. Yeah. And so you're like, oh, perfect. So you're thinking, and then rather than having like a secretary there that's going and doing the stuff, you're giving it tasks to pull it back. You're not saying, hey, go make 100 million for me. You say, hey, I got this idea. Let's break it down and figure out how to do it. But anyways, I digress.
No, yeah, well, it's funny because as you were saying that, I was like, first off, earlier in your statement, and becoming the type of person that makes $100,000, I was like, oh, holy cow! Because then I recalled that when you and Dalton were talking about that on Corn Fed. Yeah. And I was like, and it was presented differently, so maybe it was some miscommunication, but because but in the moment I also instantly knew that. And then what you were talking about, I'm like, yeah, of course I know what they. But now in this moment, I'm like, oh, that's right. And to that point, and I think part of the my dumb brain is the pre-existing depressive conditions from decades ago, but also just the it's maybe the what do you call it, reverting state as I try to transition, and not that kind, but from working the W-2 to this, because like you said, you have to become the type of person that makes a ton of money, but also become the type of person that is not working for someone else, but is working for myself. And overcoming those, like, all right, the things I'm feeling, I gotta get them back in, I guess, you got to get your perceptions and processing back in a more natural rhythm, because when you're working W-2, or at least the one that I was working, it's a very unnatural rhythm of being frustrated a lot and not being able to do things about it. And then working off the frustration and indirect manners rather than a direct problem solving. Whereas when you're working for yourself, you can solve the problems that you're having. So, and then just one more real quick, and then I won't ramble anymore, but, just to the point of also, of, you need the motivation, but discipline precedes motivation. And that's one point that I have known for, and also to the point of becoming a better person, of your point, these are things I have known cognitively for my entire life. It's part of I grew up LDS, part of the Mormon religion, to constantly be improving, eternal progression. That's just that's literally part of the gospel, but and so I'm like, and I kind of was thinking about this last night. I was like, oh, I think that may also be some of the separation and this difficulty of actually evolving to be a better person. There's part of me that's like, oh, I failed at being a Mormon, which in my mind to some extent equaled I failed at becoming a better person, so but then realizing that, and then just again using discipline prior to motivation leads to better outcomes. And that's what I'm going to be focusing on for, just that's why I'm here at 7 a.m.
No, I know you want to do it, obviously, because the actions are speaking that manner. Tons of stuff was going through my head as you were bringing this, and we're a little, I mean, I don't think it's sidetracked. It's just a show for us to talk and explain ideas within this universe. But I was listening to somebody won some huge lottery in the US yesterday, the day before. It was like hundreds of millions of dollars, and one single person won it. And the stats of those people that win that, first of all, it's crazy because they unalive themselves, some of them do in a couple of years, but also they're broke within a couple of years because they're the type of person that plays the lottery to make money. They're not the type of person that like adds value to society to make 300 million. So most of them, when they get it, they're like, oh, now that I have money, I'm going to do all the things that I said the people that had this side of money should have been doing. And then they do them all and they're broke. And then after, they may or may not figure out, oh, the reason those people don't do those things is because they're not the type of person, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
if they were that type of person, they wouldn't have any money. It's not that you can't be charitable and you can't help society and you can't build systems, but the income, the money that we get should be a product of the value we add to the community and the society.
Yes.
It shouldn't be, so back to the followers and the system that we're trying to grow here, at least how I'm trying to view it as, is what values can we put into this niche? And then when we add that value, what will the reward be? And I think why a lot of people get depressed in a 9-to-5 in a W-2 or even any corporate industry or their job or whatever is their boss is looking at them and is saying, your value is X. Your value is $15 an hour and you got to do X, Y, and Z, and I'll give you that. And even if they
less if you can't do that.
Yeah. And if they try to step out of that bounds, they're not doing what he's saying. And even if they're adding more value or they perceive it as more value, they don't get paid for it. So there's no incentive to. When you go out into your kind of, your own thing. And I mean, I did construction when I was younger. I'm sure a lot of people did it here. Or you try to do side jobs like painting or whatever, and you're trying to bid out the work. You're in such a scarcity mentality because you have a foot in the W-2 and a foot in the contractor that you're embarrassed to say the price that you think it's worth for the work that you do to do the thing because you're afraid they're going to say no. And so you lower the price and you lower your value and you lower your skill set out of fear of losing something that you don't even have. And so, I mean, I still struggle with this. So this is not like hey, I'm up above everybody and I'm doing this right thing. So come with me. It's a resource of self-confidence, understanding that you have to work on it a day-to-day basis and you got to keep farming this resource. And a good way to do it is through community, getting together like you and me, holding ourselves accountable, starting community here and inviting people in if they want to get involved, and then figuring out how we can actually use these libertarian principles that you and me both value so deeply in our community. And I was just kind of like going over it the other day because so many of us are like down in the dumps, like, oh, this is going away. There's not going to be any jobs. There's not going to be this. And it's like, it's global and it's digital. And we're all kind of becoming architects now. We're so used to being the worker that a lot of us have to move into this architectural space and saying, it's like, oh, AI robots are going to replace us all. And it's like, or maybe I'll start a business and all my employees are AI robots that I train.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm super efficient and everybody's doing this and we become super efficient. And the new world is everybody's this architect with these workers that they can train that aren't getting sick, that aren't staying away from their family, that aren't getting hurt, that aren't ruining their lives for a paycheck, and you're adding value to your community through mental, know-how or whatever. But I digress. Yeah. So
nice.
Let me go back to this. So as I went through, this is Jen. Hey Jen, which I've never heard of. I had only heard of Hyper Nature going into creating this morning. So rather than me go online and research a bunch, I'm trusting that ChatGPT did. And technically, if I had more time, I usually would feed this into Perplexity and Claude and maybe even Grok and see if it came, or Gemini, and see if it comes back with similar information. And if it doesn't, I will take that information, give it to ChatGPT and say, hey, what's going on here? I went to these other sites and they're saying it's this, but you're saying it's this. Can you go double check all that? And it'll go back and do a check for you. But so some of these breakdowns here, I don't know how we'll use them, but it did these major 3 breakdowns, it looks like 4 of them now. And it ranked Hypernatural as the 3rd one, best for speed and volume. Hey Jen was best total balance for cloning plus monetization if we were going to use that on TikTok. Synthesis was best realism, but expensive, and it's corporately owned. And this Colossian, I guess it said, is training focused, but not growth focused. So when I read this list, so it gives me a list, but you don't have to follow. Like when I read this list and I read its explanation, I still kind of put Hey Gen first, but I would move Hyper Nature up to 3.
Yeah.
Based on my
preferences
or whatever. And if I was going to continue this thread, I could tell ChatGPT that to kind of learn what I'm looking for as well.
To adjust. Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah. And so then when I have a list like this, I'm like, okay, so I was told to use Hypernatural by this guy that I kind of liked, but that's all the data I had. And now I'm kind of hearing about Hey Gen. So then today I would pull up some Hey Gen and Hypernatural videos on YouTube and kind of watch people play around with them, get a feel for them, see what they're using them for. And then make my own decision. I would log into both accounts and like kind of see the ease of that and what have you. And I think that the main other takeaway too is not to get information paralysis, where it was like, well, now I got to find the absolute most perfect AI clone ever. And for the next 30 days, I'm going to research this. And once I figure out what the perfect move is, then I'll go to the next step. It's like I kind of feel like right now I can make the decision. It's either Hey Gen or Hypernatural if I'm going to go with this system.
Making quicker decisions is also something I need to get better on, because that's also something that like with the t-shirts I actually did. I mean, I came up with one specific one that I did put on, and then I couldn't figure out how to. I don't know. It was I was using Printify, and then Printify was being weird with TikTok, and then so I guess my specific things I need to work on. That one that I'm actually getting a little better on. Reducing the okay, screw it mentality when I come to a problem that I can't solve within like 30 minutes, you know?
Yeah.
Like, cause it's past the stage of, okay, you know, I don't know, maybe like 10 years ago or so, I'd be doing something. If I couldn't figure it out in like 5-10 minutes, I'd be like, whatever, it's impossible then, you know? If I can't figure it out in 5 to 10 minutes, it must be impossible.
Yeah, looks like cancer is here to stay.
Yeah, exactly. So now I'm up to about, you know, a 30 minutes to like, you know, an hour. So I'll like and then I mean, maybe an hour is being generous to my estimate, but you know, half an hour to 45 minutes. If I can't get it done in that time, then I'm kind of just move on. And that's about the amount of time I was working on the Printify, unable to link up to my TikTok stuff. And then but I guess the more conclusion of that is that I didn't end up actually putting any shirts on the TikTok. So that's the other thing. I'll have to get back on there, take care of that. Because I made, you know, my initial idea for shirts was, let's just take advantage of the 250th anniversary of our country, because that's happening all year. So
yeah, I didn't think of that. So like,
anyways, but
so if you make pasta, right, you put pasta in a bowl, and similar to how you were cooking yesterday, and you got the water in there and the salt and the oil, and you put the pasta in there, and you can go online and you can say, hey, ChatGPT, I just put a 1/4 inch of spaghetti into a quart of hot water. It's hot. There's salt, there's pepper. I mean, there's salt, there's oil in there. How long is this spaghetti going to cook till it's perfectly cooked? And it'll come back and it'll say, oh, it's going to take 10 minutes. Oh, but if you're at this altitude, it's going to take 12 minutes, and if it's whatever. But you know what you can do? You can reach in there with a fork and you can grab a piece of spaghetti and you can throw it against the wall. And if it sticks, it's done.
Yep. Yeah.
And so the analogy for me, at least, is you can go and do all this research and stuff and figure it out. And then you're like, well, if I can't figure it out, so then sometimes you just got to throw the spaghetti against the wall and see if it sticks. Just get out there, do the thing. And if it doesn't work, change it. And if it does work, repeat it.
That's true. Let me real quick. Yeah, to tag on to that analogy, if you like I was cooking last night, let's use instead of spaghetti, rice.
Yeah.
You could just cook the rice, boil it on the stove. However, every time I've tried to do that here before I looked up how to properly cook rice,
yeah,
I have ended up with a pot full of like half cooked rice. After I've cooked it for like 30 minutes, added more, like it's so I guess, maybe to your analogy, I should have, used if we stack analogies here, I should have just cooked pasta, i.e. something that's easier to test, empirically,
yes.
practically. Start down here with pasta, so I could test empirically a little bit more and then move up to something that I have to sit and trust, like rice, because as I found out with rice, you can't be taking the lid off and on a lot. And I sound like the Chinese are probably going nuts at me right now.
Uncle Roger is flipping out somewhere right now.
Uncle Ben, yeah. And he's like, what are you talking about? The instructions for rice are right there. No, but apparently you can't be taking the lid on and off for rice because that gets rid of the steam, blah, blah. I'm getting to the minutia about rice, but you have to sit it down, forget about it for a while for the rice and trust it, let it cook. And then after a certain amount of time, then pop it open. So maybe that's kind of to stack metaphors here, on top of starting with things I can empirically test more, start with a pasta of things, but also when I do go for the things that maybe require a little bit more time and trust, let it sit. Let it, not be, not like, okay, it's not working right now, so it's fucked, or it's, there's nothing's gonna work.
Yeah, there is something about like digging in and picking something because so I've been doing an Amazon FBA store since 2020. I opened the LLC in 2021. And I've tried to teach it to a couple people and it's changed over the years.
Yeah.
And a lot of them try and they can't get ungated and like they go scanning in the store and it's not working or whatever. And so they quit.
Yeah.
And then I'll take them out and I'll be in the store for like 3 hours. And then we'll finally hit 2 items. And like each item will make like $100 profit each. But now it's $100 each over like 30 days or whatever. But now we can go to the other stores and buy the same product. We already have it. And now it's $100 a month for 12 months. So it's actually a $1,200 find. And if it lasts another year, it's a $2,400. So for me, because I've seen it work in the past, I can go in and scan 1,000 items in a store and get 999 no's and find one yes, knowing that that's going to add to my product line back when I used to do it. But it's much tougher when you're first starting because you scan 200 items and you're like, this is bullshit. I don't understand it. So there is something to be said for having done it, because then you can trust the system a lot more than when you've never done it. You're like, am I running south right now without a compass? And the further I run in this direction, the further the way I'm getting away from my goal.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to tell until you get the feedback from the market of a profit or followers or what have you.
To bring it back to the rice analogy, Gordon Ramsay doesn't worry about the rice. He knows how to cook the rice. He's done it a million times, But but to one thing I wanted to bring along with this, maybe thinking of different strategies and also things that have worked for other people in the past that want to be moving towards. One thing I didn't think about was until recently was checking out don't know why I didn't think about this, estate sales, not only local ones, but they got them online.
Yeah.
I mean, there's my niche interest, which, coins and jewelry and stuff like that. quite a few coins I found for, on auctions that are ending in, a day or less of, coins under spot value for, rare ones gold or silver, jewelry that's selling for under spot value of, its intrinsic gold content. Needless to say, it's, desirable aspect of jewelry, but also, tons of other stuff, things that, you've kind of mentioned to me in passing about, that you've bought and sold for Amazon FBA just at actual stores, like,
Yep.
like, tools, chainsaws, that type of thing, things that might even, maybe sell a little easier on at Facebook Marketplace or something like that, rather than, getting them shipped. But like, basically that was, I said I was going to go to bed early last night. I did not go to bed early because right when I was about to go to bed, I was like, all right, let me plan for tomorrow. What should I talk about? What should I focus on? Estate sales. And then I found, some gold jewelry that I'm currently highest bidder on at like $50 for a 12 or a 14K chain.
Nice.
Sick. Anyways, but
I'll tell you.
Sorry, just just to continue with the rice analogy, looking up other, how to properly cook rice, well, how do I properly, actually make a solid profit on, because got the TikTok stuff, but also how do I solidly make a solid profit on flipping stuff? Since I don't know about the thrift stores around you, but the ones around me have lately been, you can find rare finds. Like I found that Jordan hoodie for $12 that, got made $25 off, 25 bucks off of, but sick. That's nice. See, and that's the type of thing. There are the rare things that you can find that you can, that you can flip, but a lot of the local thrift stores and stuff like that, I mean, the prices are pretty much eBay prices at this point. You can find, like you said, you can find some things there and on eBay that you could resell for a little bit more, but the margins are a lot smaller than, it seems like they were in the past. So that's why, following the how to properly cook rice, how to properly, actually profit off of this stuff, looking at other people's strategies. And that's one thing that I've seen that, just in YouTube videos or reels of people going around to yard sales, and then B, extrapolating from that. Well, if people have, you could go on the yard sale, or you could go online where they're also listing them on less popular sites than Etsy, eBay, etc.
Well, here's where my mind immediately goes, right? And this is from like, watching Gary Vee and watching these other people that have been successful in this stuff, and what we're trying to venture out to now. If coins, you're into precious metals from the libertarian aspect, but you're also you just like them from an emotional thing. It sounds like you have yard sales, garage sales,
largely libertarian,
estate sales, other vendors and traders, and like you can buy auctions of tokens from like the MTBA, and you can go to car washes and laundromats and get change in all sorts of different places.
Coinstars,
and you could probably build a really good niche about that if you like it. So if you're going to continue making the videos online about that, right, and understanding it, then making a little bit more money buying and trading them back and forth, and keeping the ones that you like for your collection, and then maybe they go up a little bit in value and you have like 3 or 4 of them, so you sell the one that you don't like, them, you like the least. But also you start going on TikTok, you get the TikTok affiliate, and now you search and say coin polishing stuff, coin cases, coin whatever. You look at all the stuff in the TikTok shop that's selling for people in your niche that like to collect coins, or want to start collect coins, or want to do it with their kids or their family member, or they got somebody in the family that does it and they want a gift, and you start you're going to use those anyways, and they're in the shops, you start promoting them. But then you're doing it so often that you go look for something, a tool or an item to use that you need because you do this all the time and it doesn't exist. So now you have a product idea. So now you create this product and put it in your TikTok shop, and you sell it in your videos that have to do with coin and precious metals and all this. Or maybe it's just a book or a pamphlet of like how to quickly look stuff up in the go that you can put in your back pocket, or it's a digital pamphlet that you can put on your phone, or it's a digital search engine that you put on your phone, whatever it may be that you know, that you could only know. Like once you get into something deep, there's something missing in there that needs to be created to add value to that space that you can't figure out. I couldn't figure out going to ChatGPT. Only you could figure it out in the actual real world, doing it, being like, oh, I wish I had this right now. Let me buy it. Oh, it doesn't exist. Oh, I need that thing again, and it still doesn't exist. And it's like, at some point, you have to be like, I have to create it.
Yeah.
And then sell it. So I could see you creating a whole mini industry within this niche where you're happy because you're doing something you like. The content doesn't sound fake. The people that come to your page are also going to be into it. So when you contact them, they're not going to feel like scammers. And, you know, and then the people that don't like the content will slowly leave the page, and the people that like it slowly come. And then it becomes a very organic space of like-minded people. Yeah,
exactly. It's funny. One thing that I had actually bought recently, that I kind of want to either see if I, you know, at some point can get some kind of, you know, cheaper 3D printed one or something like that. This is a silver pinger tester. Now, this is not a real silver coin. This is just I think it's this. I'll have to quadruple check the years. This may be silver clad. I don't think it is. I think it's. Anyways, it's a Eisenhower dollar. But yeah, you do. It's for
oh wow,
little So that is not silver. It has a different sound, but it's a ping test, because you can tell different sounds of precious metals based off of the sound that they make. Like, for example, hold on, let me get the copper one out. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool. You
could hear it. Yeah.
I dated a couple of Kundalini teachers in the past, and they would do like gong baths and all different woods. And so they had tons of little things that would do these like huge, like hertz resonations, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
And it's reminding me of that. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I could branch out and say pinging silver is good for the soul. No, that would get grifty, and I'm trying to add genuine content and not.
Yeah, no. I wasn't saying it like that. I was just saying gave me a flashback when you did that. That was pretty cool. So, not to cut it short, but I think I always leave them wanting more.
Oh yeah.
Actually, we can go a little bit longer after this, but I wanted to pull up. Go check out Broseph Smith's Linktree, and it'll be in the description here as well as the.
To that.
What'd you say?
Said I've got to redo stuff because it asked me to like put a bunch of stuff to set it up, and I threw in it said like put in your bookings. I was like, whatever, man. All right, I'll put in bookings. So yeah. If you want me on something, don't click that link. That costs money. If you know me, don't click on that link.
I have to go back and do mine, and I've been cleaning this up, and I got the other one over at my other Linktree for Dave Wright, the thinker, that's got the philosophy stuff on it, and I got to clean this up a little bit. But one thing that happened to me, it's happened to you over here. So if you delete like this altogether, don't edit it, delete it all together and re-add it, it'll give you the new branding.
Okay.
And the same with like when it gives you like a full photo like that, if you want to just have it the smaller photo, you can redo it. But everybody should go over to Broseph Smith in my page, and we actually have a couple of working on some sponsors through Linktree here. So if you like the show and you want to help support it, want to help support Broseph and just see if this works, we have some different links here. And so he's got a, what are these boots? Doc Martin boots.
Yeah.
So you can get 30% off Doc Martin boots, which I actually didn't realize that they had, because Doc Martin is one of the few very popular brands that has a very extensive and fashionable vegan line of boots. So I know quite a few vegans that wear Doc Martens throughout the years. And then also I have this same one, but we'll go is the Misfits Groceries, which is to help solve grocery waste, sort of. So the Misfits will actually go to stores and they'll buy, instead, if the grocery stores want like perfect looking tomatoes, perfect looking oranges, celery and all this stuff, they'll buy perfectly healthy produce, groceries and stuff at a discount, because it might not look the best, but it tastes and everything's exactly the same. And you can get discounted groceries, save up to 20% off your first order if you head over to Misfits Market using Broseth's link. And I actually went through, because I think I went through, this is one of those cases where it's like, because I put this on my Dave Wright the Thinker one, not on the Wright Ideas yet. I went through and I was kind of like, oh, I need to try to monetize this a little bit, so I'll put these links in my thing. But then I actually ran the math. If I signed up for the vegan meal plan one that I have on my thing, I would get 21 meals throughout 7 days a week. And I think it was like $99.99 for the ingredients to make 7 different meals with no waste, because they give you step by step. So it's not like you buy a whole thing, you cut it up, and then like half of it gets wasted. And using the Misfits Groceries, it actually would save me money. So it's crazy that the way that they have it set up, that getting it delivered to my house would be cheaper. But one of the main reasons why is because of the amount of waste that I do with my grocery shopping, because you go there and you're like, oh, I want this, 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 and this, and I'll have that in my fridge. But then you have a couple of things left over from last week that you got to try to mix and match. And then another week goes by, and then you have to throw away some of the stuff that you had bought. These make it so that you're getting what you need, and you're using what you need when you cook or whatever. But
that's good.
Yes.
Waste. Start.
So we're going to go a little bit over here, just because I got one more question for you, and I'm going to think about it while you answer. What is your goal for the week with the projects that we're working on?
Okay. I need to set more realistic goals for myself. Okay. So
not make them too realistic. I mean,
no.
You'd rather what is the saying? Shoot for the stars and
shoot for the moon. If you miss, you'll land among the stars.
Yeah,
I remember that poster, like that just came. That was on a poster that was in like my 4th or 5th grade class.
I used to listen to a lot of Les Brown motivational stuff when I weightlifted, and he would always say that. So not like cutting myself short or anything, but like, okay, I'm gonna, because I also have to be realistic that I'm not just only, right now I'm trying to do like a few different things. I'm not just trying to do only the one thing. So I gotta, schedule my time as well. So 1,000 followers by end of Saturday. Let's say end of Saturday, end of Sunday, end of the weekend. 1,000 followers, end of the weekend. I'm gonna do a little bit more of the engagement farming stuff to boost it up to the 1,000 for the affiliate stuff, and then in conjunction with the TikTok, do some more. I've got some more cool coins. Not cool. All right, coins. Do some videos on that. And then as well as then that for the TikTok, and then plan on the live stuff. I want to do it. Obviously it would be great to just make money, but I gotta get in. I've got to make a plan. Get a plan for going live. So that's going to be it. Get a plan for going live. So because I want to go live, get a plan for going live. Maybe not.
but because I got a few other things going on, that's I'm gonna stick to that for now. And then as well with the TikTok, look at the print on demand stuff. Look into that more. Try to see why Printify didn't hook it up. If I can't figure that out, just go gelato. Gelato might even just be a better option in general.
Because I'm going to do one of the things that I wanted to do, and I'm going to do a similar 100-point system that I did with these AI platforms here. The three major ones that I saw in a video were Gelato, Printful, and Printify. And I don't know the three differences, but I know my preferences are quick shipping and global shipping. Yes. So and I'm going to do.
Seems better for global.
Yeah. So I'm going to do a point system with them based on global competition and global shipping times. And then once I kind of go through those three, I want to make a decision on that pretty quickly. I haven't had time. So I just got a on topic, off topic. So I just got a text from my dispatch because I've been kind of hinting at the fact that I've been doing too much lately. Yeah. So she's like, "Do you want the whole day off?" And I said, "I won't say no." She's like, "Yeah, we'll take you off the schedule for today so you can work on your other projects and stuff."
Yeah.
And I've really done a good job of training my brain. So like when I read that, I was planning on doing the medical stuff today, and I want the money from that medical stuff because it's really good. And then she says no, and I've really done a really good job of training my brain of like everything that happens is good. So like the old me would have saw that and like, crap, I just lost $300.
Dang it. Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was like,
oh, I know exactly.
I was like, awesome. I just had this morning with Broseph where we got all hyped up about this stuff. And when I get off the live, I can go work on it now. So like,
true.
I've got it. I've got everything rewired very, very well. And it took me some time that I can really get into this. Everything is like, I mean, you can call it God, you can call it the universe, whatever. But if you start looking at it like everything that happens is bad and it's getting in your way, instead of everything that's happening is setting you up for the next best thing.
Yes. That's there's a word, pronoia.
Yeah, pronoia. I made a video and talked to Pandatron about this. Go follow Pandatron X on
shout out Pandatron
on YouTube. Basically saying, people have paranoia, which is they feel like the whole universe is out to get you. Proanoia is when you flip that and you tell yourself that the whole universe is secretly working to help you out.
Yeah. And it's funny because both things end up becoming self-fulfilling prophecies. If you're too paranoid, to the point of, psychosis and delusion, then that goes, to then you end up in a psych hospital, and then people are out to get you because you are actually doing things that are bad for other people. You're causing a disturbance, so you make yourself someone that other people are out to get. Meanwhile, if you do pronoia, then that also becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yes,
because then like even if people are like, wow, that guy, even if you talk to, because this is where I really noticed it, because I was talking to someone who was like, no, it's just, like I just feel like that, I get good things out, it past the, you get in what you put out, but like, I just, I do trust that, there's a plan for me. It was after, I stopped being Mormon, but then also, it was like with the hippie stuff. And I was like, this seems dumb, but also you seem, it was a guy who was like more successful than I was at the time and at my age. And I was like, this could be just because you're confident and, this is the dice roll you got, but also it seems like you're, that literally that law of attraction manifesting God, if you are putting that giving, and now I just sound like one of those people, but you putting that out there, then that is going to be more of what you get. Because also, and this was the big thing that sorry to drag this out, but the big thing that I realized, it's because it's also what you're focusing on. It's outside of the results that you get later on. And in that moment, what you're focusing on is that it's good. The good thing, it's not just, okay, well, maybe there's a silver lining. Maybe I can get something good out of this stupid thing, which is how my brain kind of, reverts to thinking. But it's more like, oh, this is happening, so it must be good, and then that being the framing of how you go. And I don't know. It's a more foreign concept that I need to get myself.
I was thinking about my friend. I had a friend that was in, I wouldn't say, she wasn't doing like the lowest end retail like type stuff, but she was in positions constantly where it was decent jobs, but still had a lot of managers, and she was kind of still the grunt work within the businesses that she worked. And every time I talked to her, she's like, oh, I just lost another schedule here because my manager hates me. And so but every time she was communicating with her manager, she was communicating from a place of my manager hates me. So she was like trying to re-manipulate her manager. And so my dispatch person that just messaged me, I think me and her and I have a good rapport and relationship with one another. And I kind of tell her what's going on in my day-to-day life. And 3 days ago, I said, the schedule's getting a little bit more hectic than I thought because I'm doing the early shift and the night shift. And so I never have a time to really settle in and work on some of my other projects. And so then today, 2 days later, she messaged me, hey, do you want the day off?
We don't have much going on today.
We don't have much going on today. I could, if I'm in a negative headspace, I could be like, oh, she's trying to get me out of here. I'm getting fired, blah, blah, blah. But then I said, yeah, that's great. And she's like, oh, cool. You'll have time to work on your other projects now. So she's looking out for me. And even if she's not, in my head, she is. And so I'm going to have a good day and continue a good thing. So I don't handle my interactions with her in a manner that she's manipulating or trying to take me down or hurt me. I handle all my interactions with her in a positive way.
To that point, that's part of the reason I had my issue out of my old job. The first manager was great, would work, he'd it's funny. Yesterday, my wife, she has to, have a doctor's appointment. It's going to take a few hours on next Wednesday. And she messaged our manager, her manager. Holy cow, I don't work there anymore. She messaged her manager and was like, so I'm gonna, I have a doctor's appointment next Wednesday. It's this scan thing. It's gonna take a while. How he replied was, okay, do you need the day off, or did you want to work, or some? It was like that. Whereas our old boss would reply, what the one that's now the regional manager of that pest control branch, he would reply with, because it has happened several times in the past, he would reply with, do you want the day off, or do you want to work a half shift? Because that's a direct, honest communication. Whereas this boss almost seems like whenever I, because this is what drove the interactions downhill, because it was a pattern that I realized. And I thought I was being paranoid. Then I realized it's actually his paranoia, because he always interacted with every employee as if, he was suspicious of, being manipulated. The reactions and how he responded was, and I'm not putting all this on him. Obviously I had my own issues, but that's part of what drove interactions downhill, because at a certain point I also started consciously choosing not to interact genuinely, because I wasn't getting, when I tried to interact genuinely, I wasn't getting a genuine response in return. So with that said, when it's even more important when you're in a position in any type of power or or influence to try to interact genuinely. And oh my god, I had a point there somewhere, but but yeah, interacting genuinely leads to better results.
I'm going to wrap this up by saying we both kind of have the goal that we're going to focus on kind of tightening up the social media stuff that we're working on, which is basically creating on TikTok and then taking the videos from TikTok and uploading them to other social medias. For me, it's just going to be YouTube Shorts. For you, I think you're also doing X and Reels as well.
Yeah.
On Instagram. So all 4.
Keep those up.
And switch it around to a value system where, okay, how am I going to create this niche that can grow with a strong foundation, that I'm creating value? I'm not just joining this thing to milk the money from this global economy.
Yeah.
How can I create a niche that's a global value to people that want to watch this stuff? And with that mindset, even, I mean, you can still go local or whatever, but like, I was thinking, even with the coin stuff, which really might like peak you up too, is like, so you're here in the United States collecting, going through US coins and stuff, and you could find like a German or a Swedish or Chinese buddy on TikTok that's doing the same thing with their currency. And then be like, oh, dude, you're going to send me some, can you send me some US change? Can you send me some, you know what I mean? Like Chinese yen or whatever. And now it's like, it's just pennies to you, but to them, they're like, holy crap, like, look at this. I've never touched US money before, or vice versa, or whatever. So
I had a guy message me.
Add value globally, stay within the niche, make this fun. And I'm going to really work on figuring out how I can create some systems this week that's going to be easy, repeatable for me, but it's not just garbage that I'm adding to the internet. It's value that I'm going to try to add, and hope that hopefully that creates growth. I had so much more that I want to talk about, but we're 17 minutes over. So I think that's going to be the show for me. Do you have anything you'd want to say out to the viewers?
Just real quick to tag on what you said. I actually did have a guy message me in Spanish that said, I have a lot of coins to sell. He said in Spanish, but I was like,
yeah,
cool. Awesome. Hit me up. But yeah, no, just follow me here, TikTok, you know, all the places. And then, yeah, my Instagram's actually different. That's my real name. But
yeah, if anybody follows us on TikTok, we're still following everybody that follows on TikTok back on TikTok. So if you're interested in jumping on board
at this point,
learning some of the stuff,
I am looking at, I'm looking to make sure that I'm not following scammers. So I'm not necessarily following everyone back, but
no, reach out, say you watched us on the podcast or whatever.
Yes.
And we'll follow you back, and you can help grow your TikTok channel alongside of us. Hopefully get monetized and use some of the strategies and systems we're here to generate a partial income to a full-time income.
Oh yeah.
And beyond. So hey, thanks for joining us. Please do us a favor, subscribe, leave a comment for the algorithm if you don't mind. Like the video so it pushes it to other people. And then since we don't have a schedule for going live yet, it's basically based on our schedules until we can start generating a little more income from online, and then we can kind of settle in to having a more of a schedule. You're probably going to want to hit the notification bell because it'll let you guys know ahead of time when we're going to go to live. And I'm going to try to plan it the night before. We planned this last night. I was able to create the link and everything to give everybody a slight heads up. And then I'll check the algorithm in the future, and I'll figure out when people are actually watching, and we'll try to see if we can get live at the time that people are actually watching the show. But everybody, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you.